her mind. Partnered up with sisters Karen and Joan, the caring kind, to bring you the Glow Guide, a comfort you can hold. Location sharing in soft light, a safer story told. With anti-tip design and automatic LED glow, for your family and loved ones, peace of mind can grow. Oh, Glow Guide.
Hi, I'm Dr. Susan Herson, owner of RemMD and the maker of Glow Guide. My father and I share a unique bond. We are both U.S. Navy veterans and physicians. My dad was very active into his late 80s, playing tennis, skiing, and working. But in his 90s, dementia caused frequent falls. Despite my more than 20 years of medical experience, at times I felt powerless to help safeguard him at night. Sure, conventional cane lights existed, but he would never have remembered to turn one on or charge one. This is what inspired Glow Guide. It is the smart accessory to transform canes, walkers, and wheelchairs. It lights up, locates, and links to family members. This is freedom to mobilize for my family and yours. Thanks.
Shadows try to steal your trust. My Glow Guide for safety lights their path and bring confidence, comfort, and peace of mind.
Hello, 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 hello.
Hello.
How are you, Esperanza? How are you doing? You look you're glowing.
Thank you so much, as well as you both are. Yes. Lovely to be here. Thank you so much for having me and being part of this time that we're going to share together.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Thank you so much for taking the time and sitting with us, because our message are really needed at this point in time for the world. And when we can partner and we can come into space and help to lift the collective with whatever downloads that come through us, we are able to help them to look at themselves and ask themselves the very hard questions. Am I truly free?
Yes.
Am I truly free? Or am I still in a cage? Because many times it's not a physical cage. It's a mental cage we trap ourselves in. It's a mental cage. And many times we don't even realize that we are in this mental cage. We're not allowing ourselves to be. We are not setting the boundaries that we need to set in order to go within. We are dispensing our energy in all spaces where we need not to be. We're not conserving our energy. We attach ourselves to things, and it's making us very, very, very uncomfortable. For instance, like listening to social media, certain programs on social media, it could take a toll on you as an individual. So we really need to step back and look at ourselves and ask ourselves, what is really holding us hostage? What is holding us hostage as individuals? We are holding ourselves hostage, and we're not realizing that we are free. So we got to do the internal audit and look at our lives and see exactly where we are heading at this point in time. We are in the 7th month of 2026. We are in the 7th month of 2026. What are some of the things that you are ready to release before 2026 concludes? Write it down and start to take the necessary steps in order to release what is holding you hostage. And by doing this, you're freeing yourself because it's always good to write things out. If you don't have a journal, just grab a piece of paper and just write it out. The things that are holding you back, because you know what is holding you back. You know exactly the way how you feel every day. But you know what? We keep running all the time and we are not addressing the things that is holding us back as individuals. We are suppressing our feelings, we are suppressing ourselves and not addressing the things that is really need to be addressed in our lives. So this evening, we just want you to sit back and grab yourself a pen, a piece of paper that you can write on, or a notepad, whatever that you can make a little bit of notes. Because after this podcast, you can look at these notes and you can ask yourself the questions. Where am I heading? What am I doing to correct myself? Because you have all the answers. The answers is within you. All the answers is right there. But because of the noise, there is so much noise around us that we can't even hear our own voice. We cannot even hear our own voice as individuals. So this evening, we want you to sit back and just relax and reclaim your freedom. It's time for you to reclaim your freedom. Only you can do it. You're free. You are free. But it depends on how you're looking at yourself. Because a lot of times we are running on old programs. We are running on old programs that is very outdated. It's very outdated. And many times the soul is giving you different signals, but we're not paying attention because we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that. It's giving us all of these signals, but we are refusing to listen what our soul is really telling us. So this evening, we just want you to sit back, get in a comfortable position, get a nice beverage of your choice, and just relax. Some of us, we're just coming off from work. We had a hard day. We know that. But this is the right place you're in at this point in time because we're going to relax your mind. We're going to give you some tools that you can start thinking how you can incorporate these tools in your life. And we got such a beautiful guest in the studio here with us this evening, Esperanza. And she is going to really help us to detox those old paradigms we are running on. The things that we're telling ourselves that is absolutely not true. Because we have been conditioned over the years. We have been conditioned over the years. And it's time for you to free yourself. It's time. So, I'm Karen Pascal, holistic health and wellness coach, and among many other things, but I'm going to toss the mic now to Miss Williams. Miss Williams, take the mic.
Wow, that was such a great opening as always. And what stood out is that when you said, "Are you really free?" and you said, "Are you reclaiming your freedom?" Right? And so that's a good question because we all want to ask ourselves, where are we at this point in time? We're in the 7th month. What are we doing? Are we honoring ourselves? Are we stopping and pausing from all the hustle and bustle on an everyday basis? And are you stopping and you pausing and you looking at yourself in the mirror, reminding yourself who you are? You're special, you're amazing, you are unique. And you're going to choose at this point in time to really honor yourself, knowing who you are, and set the tone for the next half of the year so that you can live the best version of yourself, so that you can live full, feeling empowered, strong. So when you show up full. That is why we wrote the book Self Care is Intentional, because you can pause, focus on self care, so you can stay filled and realize and go within, turn inwards by doing reflection, introspection, and leaning into your inner wisdom so you can draw on those new inspiration. You can draw on those new wisdom that is going to catapult you to greater and higher heights. Only you can do it. And this is a time for you to choose you. I know you spoke about where are you directing your energy. And that's very, very significant. That is very significant because it's time for us to all look where we focus in our energy. As Angela, we had someone in the guest, which she spoke about redirecting your gaze so that you can be strong. Pause and look where you are. Are you choosing the right kind of food? Are you nourishing and nurture yourself so that you can move with a level of vitality? Because as we like to see on the show, are you surviving or are you thriving? And what stands between the space of not allowing you to thrive, there is where the work has got to be done. There is where the work has need to be done. Celebrate your wins, big or small, and show yourself grace. Yes, sometimes you're going to suffer setbacks, but setbacks is a redirection for you to make your comeback and repurpose and draw in and lean more into who you are. So sit back, relax tonight, in or whatever time you're watching this show, if you're catching us on the replay. And what are we going to do tonight? Because we have such an amazing guest, someone with more than 30 years of experience, is going to share with us and give us some gems. She's going to drop some gems in us tonight so that you can look at yourself as you honor yourself. What do I do in this moment that can uplift, that it can inspire, and move you to a level of transformation for yourself? You deserve the best. Yes, you are. You do deserve the best. And how are you going to start doing that? By following some tools tonight that our lovely guest Esperanza, who've taken her precious time to join us to share space with us, because she has got a wealth of knowledge, wealth of experience that she's going to share with us tonight and expand our toolkit or our toolboxes, how we can really earn the right, because of our birthright to be free and to live the best version of ourselves. Esperanza, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you both so much. And I really appreciate everything that you shared already to this moment. I think there's a lot of wisdom in many of the things that you said. And like all of us, we're receiving information on so many levels.
Right.
Yes.
And we're ready for some things and we're not ready for some things.
True.
But I will say, wherever you are,
Right.
you're okay, right where you're at.
Love that.
So just to touch on a couple of things that were already in the opening. And I think that this is something that we all get caught up in. The topic tonight was on how do we emancipate ourselves. That's a big topic.
Yeah.
And, we think of that on a lot of levels, just like what we were saying right now. And I think that it's important for us to honor where we are in this moment. yes, it's true we're into the 7th month of the year, but it's also not as relevant as if it were the 1st month or the 12th month, because today is today.
Today's
And
today.
today is what you have right in front of you. And so this kind of introspection, self-reflection, all those things that you mentioned, Joan, this is something that when we look within, we have this communication inwardly, internally going on daily. And we all have all kinds of communication going on. Some of it is those negative patterns you talked about, Karen. Some of it is cultural things, familial things, ancestral things. There's just so many pieces of what makes us up. You know, we're multidimensional beings. And that consciousness that we're tapping into is all encompassing. And sometimes it comes through so clear, the wisdom, and other times it's muddled up with all these other pieces that we also are. So I like to think of taking today to love yourself,
True.
to be kind to yourself. And what you don't know, you don't know. What you do know, you can work with.
Right.
And rather than think of it as like, oh, I got to fix something because it's incorrect, we can think of it as like, I'm going to work with this piece of myself in a non-judgmental way, in a non-biased way. And that's the first steps to being able to emancipate yourself. Because when we start eliminating those kinds of labeling that we do for ourselves, or that we do out in the world, we begin to free ourselves. When we begin to look at situations outside of ourselves as just that, they're external things. Ultimately, we have to be able to check in with ourselves. We have to be able to reach within. That's not always comfortable.
No.
You know, we talk about like inspiration and, you know, the creativity and, you know, even to the point of self-care, you know, all those things, nourishing things, you know, that's all wonderful. But emancipation, it does come with the work that you do within yourself. And, you know, I know you work as coaches. I know that, you know, I work in energy medicine, and oftentimes people will come and the real healing that takes place is within ourselves, just like freeing ourselves is ourselves. We're caged inside our prisons, whatever they are, emotions, thoughts, you know, whatever that may be. It's ourself. It's always ourself that can be the greatest enemy or the greatest ally. And really cultivating that relationship within yourself is key to emancipation. And that means getting to know all those pieces of ourselves. And that's not always easy. It's not always pleasant, but it does require us to go within and allow ourselves to open the cage, to open up the places where we've been imprisoned, and to be able to see with a sense of willingness to dare to take those steps. And that can be really daunting and scary, to take the steps to make changes.
Right.
Like you had mentioned, Karen, the attachments that we have, they're on so many levels.
Yeah.
We're in school and we attach ourselves to the degree. We're in parenting and we attach ourselves to what role how we're going to play out that parenting role, and you know what that life's going to be like, and our children, and then they're gone, and then we have to, you know, we reassign our roles again and again, you know, with our workplaces, etc., climbing up the ladder, you know, whatever that may be, all these different things. And they are beautiful experiences, but ultimately we arrive at places in life, and perhaps that also comes with age, that allows us to see places we've placed the attachment.
So true.
Once we strip those things away, whether we do that consciously or it comes about because
Right.
we're unconscious of it, or life brings it to us, and
Life brings us to us. Right.
you know,
Right. Right.
it's kind of like a wake up,
Wake
whatever
up.
Yes.
Wake
that
up. Wake
is,
up. Yes. Yes.
Uh, these are all opportunities because we're infinite beings, so nothing really caps it for us. Nothing.
So true.
And this is the
So true.
limitless possibilities of all we are, of who we are. And if we think of it that way, that's being free to step into that infiniteness that is the possibility of who and all we are. So I would say that, for many of us, we're looking for the next thing, the next book, the next guide, the
Right.
next
Right. Right.
leader, of a country, whatever it might be,
Right.
uh,
Right. Yes.
and really we're in a time, I think, in this consciousness evolution and revolution that is requiring us to have that authorship of ourself.
Like that. Authorship of ourselves. Yes. Like that. Love that.
So we really can just become the being that we are. And the being is the biggest thing because we live in this physical world and we're continually doing things. And those are attachments also, inadvertently. They become attachments to what we're going to do, what we're going to create next. It goes on and on and on.
Right.
And to be able to extract the joy of being in the moment, being in what it is that we are doing, but not attached to the doing aspect of it.
True. 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 True.
And that's a consciousness too, and
Right.
some of you may be hearing that right now and being like, well, what does that mean?
Right.
And others of you may know that because you're well there right now. And I would say that, in life, there are so many experiences of birth and death in our own life, our experiences, cycles that we go through, stages of our lives. And it's all just part of this evolving being that we are. So when we come into a comforting ability to hold ourselves, to allow ourselves to walk through these transformations, through these births and deaths and cycles, to know that we are evolving and to know that this is all working out for what our soul needs, not, the sister, the brother, the mother, the father, the daughter, the son, the friend next door. It's us, and we are unique. Every single one of us are absolutely unique, like that snowflake that falls. We are unique. So how can you base it on what anybody else's experience is?
Right.
You can't.
True. So true. So true.
That's absolutely right,
Wow.
Esperanza. You've shared some real valid points there. I hope the audience, they're really taking some notes here because you dropped some big gems. You've dropped some big gems just now. I really like when you when you said, honor where you are. That's a big one. Because many times we are saying to ourselves, we should be further ahead, not honoring where we are at this point in time in our lives and understanding. Many times we want to go further, but we don't even understand where we're at this point in time.
That's a good one.
Because so many things are happening right now that we don't even understand, but we want to go further. So in order for us to move forward, we got to understand where we're at right now, because it starts from the now. And it all starts with self-awareness.
Yes.
Because we have to be self-aware of what is happening. That is why it's always good to write down what you're experiencing at this point in time, the now. Because when you write things down and when you can look back at it, you can say to yourself, well, I now understand why I had to go through this period or this phase of my life in order for me to arrive here. Because many times we're not even forgiving ourselves for things that happen in our lives. Forgiveness, we're not forgiving people, we're not forgiving ourselves, and forgiveness starts with us. We got to forgive ourselves first. And once we can forgive ourselves first, we can able to forgive others. Because many times we come through different phases of life. People have done so many stuff. But then we got to understand too that the energy that we carry at that point in time, we attract those energies to ourselves. Many times we attract things to ourselves, and sometimes we don't even realize we're attracting these things because the level of energy that we're carrying at that point in time, we're attracting these things to ourselves. So we got to forgive ourselves because you know what? You're not that person anymore. You already went through that phase. You're in a different phase of your life right now. So if you're still holding on to that old person, you're holding yourself hostage. You're not freeing yourself because you're still holding on to that old energy. You're not that person anymore. You're in a different phase of your life. You already went through that experience. You went through that situation. You have grown. You have evolved. You raised your level of consciousness. So now you're a different individual. So many times we are holding ourselves back, and we really need to write ourselves a new constitution. You know, we
Sure.
really need to write ourselves our own personal constitution. Right? Right, right, John?
I love it. I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
like
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Right.
well, and I know that it's been put out there in different ways, but I'll just state it here to remind us.
Right.
A mentor once told me, but I know I've read it in other places too and
Right.
heard it, that if you want to really know where you're at in this moment, look around you. That's all you have to do.
Yes.
Perfectly
We
said.
want to write down, that's good. You want to do a little recording to yourself on your notes, whatever that may be.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
good too. But you can stop at any moment and look around you. And there were times in my life when I quite didn't understand that because I would look at, let's say, something in the world and it would catch me off guard. I would see something that seemed like I may be judging it as an injustice or something wrong in the world. But if I look at it with a different lens and I look to see what is this showing us on a collective level,
Right.
because yes, we are unique. Yes, we have this individual experience, but we're also all contributing to the collective as well.
That is so
So
beautifully said.
when we can take a look at things around us with that lens of that quiet place that allows us to have that clarity and inner wisdom to ask the question, what are we learning from this?
Mm-hmm.
What am I learning from this? Why am I seeing it this way? These are things that allow us to open into a greater consciousness that's not just in our brain and limited by the experiences that we've only had in this life, but it allows us to enter into something that is part of that collective, and it allows us to also heal it. Every time we heal every aspect of ourself, our thought, our emotion, any possibility of what we are healing in ourselves is healing everything and everyone. It's all connected. So these are the kinds of things that we can do when we think about how we're going to help the world. We don't need to save the world. We need to heal ourselves. And I don't say that healing word like there's something that was wrong with us, but we're all healing. Because just the fact that we're in this human experience, for most of us, we've experienced some kind of separation from a wholeness of who we are. And that healing is that coming together, those pieces of ourself that I had mentioned earlier, all those multidimensional pieces of ourself, we're connecting those dots. We're becoming whole, like as if those pieces of the puzzle are coming together. Now we can see it more clearly.
Mhm.
And now that part of who we are adds to that bigger picture of the collective too. And so this is how we heal the world and the things we're facing right now. And this piece about the emancipation, because as we had spoken prior to this show, we can take a subject that's truly about slavery and we can think about what happened when the emancipation took place in this country. Many people were confronted with not knowing what to do. Suddenly they were free, but what now? You see,
Mhm.
because it's a mindset,
Mindset,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
and to be free in the sense that we're speaking of today is to begin to liberate those pieces that we got stuck in, the traumas, those imprints that write us on,
Mhm.
things that on the outside still rock us and shake us up, you know,
Mhm.
all these pieces so that we have this self awareness. It is part of the self mastery. And that part of self mastery is what makes us free.
That part of the self mastery makes us free. I mean, look, you have dropped so much of inspiration, so much of way forward, expanding our toolkit or our toolbox when we think about freedom, when we think about liberation, when we think about attachment, when we think about mindset. And I like when you started off, you said, today is today. Yes, we may talk about the 7 month, we may talk about what part of the year we are in, whether it's second quarter, whatever, but we have now.
Yes.
And as we stay present, and I like when you spoke about look around, because as you look around, you can really measure where you are.
Yeah.
And that would be a key point for all of us as we absorb this moment to look around and see where we are. And then we can able to, if you want to say reset, because there is always time in the moment that we can, as you said, look through it from a different lens
Yes.
and look at your moment and see, what am I learning from this moment? What is it teaching me? We spoke about wholeness.
Yes.
We talk about healing, and not healing from a place of how healing is being spoken of. Healing is just we looking at the parts of us and we bring in all everything together, because you said as we heal not only for ourselves, but we are uplifting
Yeah.
on a collective level. How such a richness that you dropping in, because I mean we all focus on ourselves and we live in our lives because it's bio individuality. We all have our own journeys, and as you mentioned, it's not for your brother, not for your sister, not for anybody else. It's you, because you have to make the conscious choice. You're turning inwards. You're zooming in on yourself. You're doing all the reflection and introspection. But at the end of the day, you're staying present because today is today.
Yeah.
And we want to ask you, I mean, this is such an interesting journey with everything, how you've weaved together so beautiful the arts of spiritual science and deep human development to serve humanity during this transformation time. How you've chosen this journey to walk this path and to uplift and to
Yeah.
celebrate life on itself as you as a person, and now you bring in all this information, and I don't want to say information, the experience to share with the world.
let's do two things. Before I state that, I want to backtrack for just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
That looking around. I'm glad you emphasized that again, Joan. And I'll say that here's the beautiful thing. And this part is the part that we sometimes miss because we can get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like what you see, here's the beautiful thing. You can change it.
Absolutely.
That is so true. That is so true.
We have the choice.
We have the choice. We have the
And you
choice.
get the chance. And you have the opportunity. And it's there
You have to do it.
at every turn. And you see, this is the thing. We knew that when we were children. Some part of us knew that when we were children. Now, we've all had different experiences. So for some children, it gets wiped out right away.
Right.
But that imagination, when you see that 2, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old that hasn't been traumatized, but that is just experiencing in the wonder, in the imagination that starts to come alive more at 6 and 7. It's all about possibilities. It's all about infinite possibilities. It's about, I can fly to the moon. I can go over the rainbow. I can
Right.
ride on a winged horse. It's all about the possibilities. And it's true that we have the power. This is the piece, that we have the power to name anything the way we want to name it.
Wow. Wow.
So this path that I'm on, I don't know that I can say at this point in time, I chose it. It's a path that was with me all along. In fact, at some points, I denounced it because it was a difficult path to walk on, not having necessarily support around me and seeing things also that were part of these systems that are in place, and just the way our human evolution has been, that can pull us away from the wholeness that we are.
Mm-hmm.
And for many people, when they feel that disconnection happen, they turn to other things to try to soothe the pain, because it's a pain. It's the metaphor of falling out of the garden. So for many individuals that are on a path of healing, or a path of light, or a path of discovery, it comes with the other side of having been in those shadow places, of having been in the suffering or the pain. And we transform that. That's the alchemy of the healing aspect.
Right.
That's the darkness that shifts to light. Those are choices that we make. And along the way, we might look back and say, I've kept doing that over and over and over again. But for many individuals, especially at this time, there is a real sense as if though it's like this long thread of memory that goes way back, perhaps even beyond what you can say was the beginning of this lifetime. And you can say, oh, I was here. Like I came here to serve this way. Like this is what I'm wired this way. I came this way. And it comes with a awareness, but also along the way, things that you decide that you're going to do, that you're going to walk this way. And this way, I often have said, is not necessarily for the faint-hearted. You know, to be true to yourself takes courage.
Yes.
It takes that ability to look deep within yourself. But I can tell you that for anyone who does it, there are many on the other side of those transformations that are rooting you on, are cheering you on, and know that you can come through. And you will.
Yes.
So those are the pieces for me that have always been alive in me. And I wouldn't be able to tell you that it came from any one thing. It was as if though, as a child, remembering what that sun-dappled light looked like through the leaves of the trees when I sat in the branches. And that connection is like a thread of light that has continued my whole life. And I can't think of any other way that I've ever wanted to live than to be the full expression of that. And it's not from a place of like, there were different times in life. There's times in life when you want to gain knowledge, that's a different thing. There were times in life where I thought to myself, what is this ascension? I think I can do that in this lifetime. There's these pieces that we unravel along the way till it's all removed. And all that remains is the heart and the spirit of what will remain here after our bodies leave. And that's the contribution that we get the honor of living a life to give.
That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. That is so, so beautiful.
Whilst you were sharing just now, Esperanza, one question came to mind. What can you really tell a parent that is looking at a little child right now, and this child is totally different, and the parent really don't understand this particular child? Why is this child asking questions? Why is this child behaving a particular way? And it's very confusing for some parents. What advice can you give that parent?
First, remember your love. Your love and kindness to yourself, because none of us know everything.
Right.
And in that love, we do all we can. Might we look back and say, oh, if I knew then what I know now?
Right.
Chances probably so.
Mm-hmm.
But what does keep everything intact is the love. So you do what you do from what you know at any moment in time. But you do it from that place of love. All will be well. All will be well. Love and love some more. I mean, love is going to stretch us like you won't believe, For those mothers out there that have gone through contractions and labor and birth, you know what that is. But it's even more than that.
Yes.
We stretch the soul. We stretch it and stretch it and stretch it till it feels like we can't take any more. And then we find that, no, we just have reached new capacities, and now we can love some more. And we love some more. Every time we forgive ourselves, like you had mentioned before, Karen,
Yes.
Every time we do something like that, we love some more. Every time we take ourselves and hold ourselves like that parent that's consoling us, like that parent that's giving us love, we heal some more. We love some more. Every time we go out into the world and we can look at the things that are difficult, the atrocities, the horrors, and we can have compassion for this travail of humanity that's moving through all these different stages, just like us individually moving through dark and light. And we can give it love and love some more. These are the things that will stay. They'll remain. They're the legacy, not just of ourselves, but of the indomitable spirit that we are.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I never heard the expression of love in that way. When you, that is really, really deep. And that speaks volume of who you are, because of your 30 years of experience and everything that you've been through. When you express and you share with us and you're teaching us how we can love. And you said that love can be stretched and love some more. So it's constant loving, because as you love, when you spoke about embrace yourself, right? And that is a form of comfort too for an individual.
Yeah.
So when then you love some more, you say when you step out into the world and everything what is going on, you can show compassion because you're sharing love in that moment. And as you look through the lens of everything, and you continue to, so it's a fountain of love.
Mhm.
You constantly giving love, you stretching love, and love is, you can continue to expand it as
Mhm.
much as you want to, because we have the control to do it. We can
It,
make the choice to do that.
yes. It's infinite.
In our,
I
yeah.
think of it as love, light, life energy. All of them are synonymous.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Wow.
it's when we think of it in this way, and going back to honoring ourselves, this is the life that we get. We get to express this. We get to give it. We get to receive it. What more?
Sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, after the material things, the relationships, everything, the last day that you're here on the earth, what do you get to leave behind? What do you get to take with you? It's only one. It's what you came in with. It's what you leave with. It's love, light, life energy that continues, because it's just going to cycle in a different way when you leave the body.
And the beautiful thing, it's pure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pure. It's pure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo.
That's what it is, And you know, when we think about those who have come to the earth and expressed it with such grace, such mastery, we think of the different masters, whether it's through religions or different um, walks in life where they were leaders of nations or movements or whatever they were emanating these kinds of things,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and as we're approaching the birthday of this nation, it's like what you had started out at the beginning with, Karen and Joan. This is not about perfection. This nation
No.
wasn't birthed on perfection either. They
No.
were ideals. They were inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
They were something that, who knows where it came from the ethers, from the
Okay.
cosmos.
Right.
Who
Right.
knows?
Right. Right.
You
That's
know?
okay.
And this is what we have. This is what we have,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what we too are. And we come to share and express to the best of our ability. And that's not on anyone's scale other than your own,
Yeah.
because you're the one checking in with yourself. You're the one that's feeling like, I want to do better in
Mm-hmm.
myself, or I want to take a break. You know these things, but we tell ourselves all kinds of different things. And so, how to love ourselves, how to be able to have that courage to see ourselves fully in who we are,
Mm-hmm.
to know that we're not something that's not worthy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We are worth everything because we're here. That is our
Yeah.
birthright. It's like we had talked at the beginning of the show. This is our birthright to be
Okay.
free. So these are the pieces, that we're going along, and all of us are going along through our different
Mm-hmm.
different journeys. And
Yeah.
how beautiful that is. I mean, it's so masterful. I find so much joy in it that it fills my heart to
Pretty
think
happy.
about how beautiful it is in its imperfection, in its process, in its evolving and learning, and all of it, all of it. And so the other piece to all of this is gratitude.
Mm. So true. So true. So true. We believe in that. Yeah.
And just
Mm.
giving into that space within yourself for everything, you know. Earlier today, I had a moment when I was processing something that is part of a change going on for me right now. And I could feel myself like that child, like, oh, this is scary. I don't know what
Mhm.
exactly to do. Help me see my way through. And I'm speaking to myself, right? And then I could feel myself hold myself and allow myself to move through that. And it passes over, you know? But it's done with this loving care
Mhm.
for where I was at in that moment. And every time we come to meet ourselves in that way, we are doing such a beautiful work in this world.
Wow. That's so beautiful expressed because and thank you for sharing that. Because when you said that you were processing something
Mm,
and you were in a moment and you were
mm.
reflecting what's happening, but you allow yourself to move through that moment with grace and the same kind of love you expressed early in the conversation. So you didn't get you were at peace in the moment because you're looking at the moment that you're experiencing from a different lens.
Mm-hmm.
And so you hold yourself, you give yourself love in that moment, and you realize that it's a moment. I'm growing in this moment. I'm honoring myself in this moment, and it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
But it's a moment that I'm tapping into that I recognize that. And I think there was a little joy in that too, because you're at such a high level that you allow the moment to allow the experience to happen
Yeah.
through you with love, with kindness, with grace, compassion, and with gratitude too as well.
Yes. Yes. Now, the caveat to that is that most of us don't come to that place until we've done a lot of other flips and turns along the way. So, wherever you are right
Hmm.
now,
Yeah,
honor that.
honor that.
And every time you do, you get closer to those moments that give you more and more grace.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about that because I think when my mom, this is going back 10 years, was going through her transition, and there are 7 of us in the family, and we all got to be with her in those last days. And I think there was a card on the table that one of the hospice nurses had brought over, and it was a St. Francis of Assisi quote. And I tried looking it up for today, but I couldn't find it. But it was almost the reverse. It was like being like understanding that you're living right now so that you can leave.
Wow.
That's the fullness of living right now. That when you come to the end of your time, you get to leave in peace. So live today. We've all heard it. You only have today, tomorrow's not promised, on and on and on, all these kinds of sayings.
Hmm.
But we arrive at some place in our journey as we're doing this self awareness, introspection, self reflection,
Hmm.
all these
Hmm.
things. And we come to it's not just a thing in our head anymore. It's like we're living it. And maybe this is part of the grace of aging too, that we understand, you get to the 50-year mark and okay, I've
Okay.
I'm further along here now, and you get to the 60 mark and you're like, okay, now I'm seeing like I'm closer to some end line now, right?
Hmm.
And each and every day perhaps becomes more precious. So if you're in your 20s and you're hearing this now and your children are small, or you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s, whatever it might be, just know that today is your day to take that opportunity in whatever way you need to do what you need to do to hold yourself, to love yourself, to be more kind to yourself, to find that compassion for you, to find that compassion for what you didn't know, what you do know, what you didn't know back then, what you know
Right.
now. And believe me, down the line, you're going to think to today and be like, I didn't know that then. It's like, it. We get so kind of stuck on all these different little places we're in, but in essence, it's just like a big continuum,
So we continue.
and it just keeps going on and on. And that's a concept that in our human mind we sort of kind of get, and maybe we get glimpses, and maybe while we're in the self-awareness we tap into a consciousness that allows us to experience maybe something infinite for a little bit here and there. But that's really underlying, that's an underlying current beyond all the little things that we're attending to every day, all the little things. So find that current when you can, as much as you can, to bring you to the present, to ground you and allow you to soar too, right? It's one and the same.
Right.
Because, yeah, that's how you get to go beyond what this immediate place is and allow you to feel that expansiveness, that spaciousness of who you are. That spaciousness is also connected with that love a little more.
Yeah.
Love some more. Because when we got space, right, we open it up.
So we can expand.
Right. You can stretch.
Yeah, we can expand. Oh, Esperanza, this was really good.
And I like how you share about your mom, because we can totally relate to what you're saying. You said, I mean, it's just the two of us. But as you said, you mentioned your mom and her transition, and you guys were right in the moment and able to experience a level of peace, right, as she transitioned. And Karen and I could relate to that because our mom has transitioned too, and our grandmother, and we were there, and the peace in the moment, the energy in the moment, as they move beyond this world.
Yeah.
But it's quietly, silently, but a different a level of energy can be felt. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, and one thing I remember what my mom said. She said, "Allow and be free. Allow and be free." And it makes you think about liberation. It makes you think about liberation. Are we liberating ourselves? Are we really liberating ourselves? Because we, as you just said, it's that love.
So love that.
That love is so precious, it's so unique. It could expand. But are we really utilizing that love? Are we really utilizing the love that we came with? Because
Fractions.
I know, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and love ourselves some more, because that's just the truth,
It's just the truth.
I mean, we're in this human experience.
Yeah, the human
Yes,
experience.
Yeah, but
So
we're so blessed, but
Right.
you see, it's all the conditioning. It's all the conditioning that we listening to so many different noise that we're not even seeing ourselves anymore. We're not even hearing the internal voice when it's really telling us about ourselves. And because we're not taking the time to really hear that internal, we can't even understand what is really happening in the moment, in the here and now. We really can't understand That is why we really got to pause. We got to do some introspection. We got to we got to do some deconstructing and deconstructing of all those things that we went through all the years. We got to deconstruct, you know. But the beautiful thing is that we already got data that we can build back, you know. We can able to build back ourselves and build back ourselves with love,
I love that.
with love and self-compassion. We are able to do that. And as Esperanza said, we have a choice.
We have a choice.
We have that choice. You know, it may look difficult right now because it depends on how you're looking at it. As Esperanza said, it depends on how you're looking at the experience that you're going through right now. It all depends on the lens that you're wearing at this point in time, this moment, how you're looking at that experience. Because, you know, another thing come to mind now is that many times we're asking for change, but we're not realizing that when the change is coming, it's a lot of discomfort. Change come with a lot of discomfort, and we don't like the discomfort.
Right.
We don't want to go through that process of discomfort. We want everything to be easy, you know, and that is what makes us so frustrated, because we want everything to be easy. Anytime anything difficult, we shut it down. We're not dealing with that, you know, not knowing that the difficult parts are the parts we need to go through in order to arrive at the next place and the next phase of our lives. So it's a beautiful thing when we can really sit with ourselves and go within and look at our lives. And if we're in a cage, it's time to free yourself. It's only you can free yourself. If you can't do it, grab yourself and coach that can help you to go through that process. Go to the right person that can help you to go through that process, because many times we really can't do it on our own. We try, we fail. We try, we fail. So you know what? It's time for you to grab yourself an experienced individual that can help you, ask you the right type of questions to help you to bring the best out. Because there is the gems in you. The diamond is in you. It only need a little bit of polishing up, you know. It only need a little bit of polishing. It's in you, you know. And we are here this evening to let you know that you are that diamond. You are that diamond. And you have everything within you. You only need a little bit of polishing. Right, Esperanza?
Yeah, I like to think of it as if though we are that polished diamond, and then every time we become that self-awareness, we're
Right.
polishing, you know.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
I love that. Yeah.
Right.
And I think about, you know, this piece that we gain so much information. It doesn't matter whether it's negative information or positive information. We gain so much information. That information is going. And we live in a time where we have, you know, access to all kinds of information that you know, we didn't have 50 years ago. So information is good, but the fact is that we are still in a human body and a human mind, and we'll only use fractions of this information at any given time. We won't use all of it. And a lot of it can also cloud and, like you said, a lot of noise. But that stillness, and I want to break it down to even something simple that anybody can do. Anybody can do. Center yourself and breathe deep.
Yes. Yes.
I love that.
There are all different kinds of breathing patterns, but even if you don't know breathing patterns like a 4x4x4x4 or a 4x8, you know, whatever that is, if you don't know those patterns, just breathe deep to where you can feel your heart. Place your hand on your heart. Talk to your heart. Talk to your gut. Talk to your mind. Talk to it with the intention that you are opening communication lines,
Right.
that you are speaking to the cells in your body, that they have an intelligence too. They have memory that's been stored
Right.
there. And
Mhm.
for many people, we may believe that it's more than this lifetime, that
Mhm.
it's a universal consciousness that we're connected to, perhaps
Yes.
other lives. But regardless of what that is or what your personal belief is, talk to you right now. That is a divine way of beginning that communication. That is a prime way to begin to cultivate that relationship within yourself. And anybody can do it. And these are the things that we tend to bypass. The simple things
Simple
we tend
things.
to
Right.
bypass, but they are essential. They're essential because they are the makeup of who we are, of
Mhm.
all we are, that allows us to move through our days, to have a more centered alignment to how we can enter the day and see
Mhm.
more clearly with an unbiased lens, to be able to get past things that we have been programmed by or the conditioning that we have. And again, wherever you are today, be there. Love yourself today. Where you're going to be at down the line, don't know. But by just taking one step at a time, one day at a time. And I really do believe that that's a way to have peace and harmony, and
Yes.
a way to be able to be more in the moment with gratitude. Those kinds of things.
Mhm. Wow.
Simple
Wow.
things.
Wow. What is one sentence you can leave with our audience today?
Love yourself with a capital S. Self. Love yourself. And all else will gel with that.
Ooh,
This was a masterclass right here.
this
Yes.
was really
You are
good.
truly special. You're truly amazing. You're truly a unique person because what you have brought and delivered, you serve us well in this space this evening. The energy, the tips, the nuggets, the promptings that people may take away those who are watching us live and those who are going to catch us on the replay. But you allow us and give ourselves permission to go in and
Mhm.
honor ourselves. You've given us so much to digest. As you said, today is today. You start off with today is today. You talk about alchemy. You talk about attachment. You spoke about love yourself, and you talk about the expansion of love. And you share a
Mhm.
particular moment that you had to allow yourself. You just stay still. You got centered, and you went through that moment of the experience, but not of an experience that you're afraid. You move to that experience and you allow that experience to and you process that experience because you move through it. You acknowledge it because you were centered, you were balanced, and you move through it gracefully, right? And you honor yourself in the moment. You love yourself. You held yourself and you hold yourself and you said, it's an experience I'm going through in this moment. And I'm growing in this moment and I'm honoring myself in this moment. When you spoke about the attachment, when you spoke about the lens, because as we go through different experience in life, we look at a different lens. When you talk about the ages, when we go through, when you're in your 50s, when you're in your 20s and 30s, is one thing. When you're 40 in your 50s, and when you're in your 50s and your 60s, you're in a different season of your life. You're more aware, you're able to be more reflective, and your alignment is totally different because you're focusing on something different for your life.
Mhm.
Because you start to think about what a legacy. Who am I and what am I leaving behind when that time comes? So you have broadened our thoughts. You shaped us in a moment that from this moment forward, from today, we can look at ourselves, and as we honor ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
we can go within. We talk about the shadow and the light and all those things because there is where the
Mm-hmm.
richness of our lives are when we can come to that place and do not be hard on ourselves because you spoke about grace
Mm-hmm.
and to move from the space where we at, not further along, not behind. We're right in this moment where we are. And as we look around our environment, we take the stock, and that's where we are right now in the moment. So you've drawn us in so deep, so that we go so much in depth. And because of who you are and the years of experience that you've got, so much experience that you were able to share so eloquently,
Yes.
so beautiful to us tonight. We just want to say thank you, and we
Thank
want to
you.
say
Thank
that
you
you are
both.
special.
Thank you. And both of you, I feel the same way for providing an opportunity for people to hear and to have opportunities, right? To tap in and just know that if you are out there and it's difficult for you to love yourself right now, it is true that you are loved and I love you
Yes.
Mm,
and there are others that love you too.
Yes. Yes.
wow.
Yes.
Cool.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You know, you give me chills,
Yeah, you give us chills.
because the energy is right,
That's right. We are
you
aligned.
know, and you've touched on a lot of things this evening. But the one thing that really stand out when you said center yourself and breathe,
That's beautiful.
center yourself and breathe, because we all go through different moments during the day in our life, you know. But when we can center ourselves and we can just take those deep breaths and breathe, because we are still here, you know. You know how many people in the hospital that is lying on their bed and pulling a last breath this moment, and they're living in, they're saying to themselves they regret they didn't do this, they didn't do that, you know. We have the opportunity,
Right.
and like Esperanza said, we have a choice. We have that choice, and we can do it. And as she said, we're not doing it for ourselves alone, we're doing it for the collective.
Right.
Because when we heal ourselves, we're healing the collective as well. So sit back and look at yourself this today, whether it's evening, it's morning, or it's the middle part of the day, whatever time it is, it's now. It's now
Mhm.
time. Just look at yourself and center yourself. Do not abandon yourself, because many times we are abandoning ourselves. We are doing everything for everybody else and we're leaving ourselves behind.
Mhm.
What about you as an individual? What are you doing for you as an individual? Look at yourself. Do not abandon yourself. Show yourself grace.
Mhm.
Where you at this point in time is part of your evolution. It's part of your evolution. And as Esperanza said, just treat yourself, hug yourself, show yourself that love. That love is within you. You know, as we're going to wrap up this podcast, we just want to let you know that you are enough.
Mhm.
You are enough. You're special. You're one of a kind. As Dr. Jonas said, nobody can duplicate your handwriting. They cannot duplicate your fingerprint because you're unique, you're special, and you're here for a reason. You didn't just appear in this atmosphere like that. You're here for a
Right.
reason. So, whatever it is that you're going through right now, it's a phase and it will pass.
Mhm.
Learn from it because it's preparing you for the next phase of life. It's just preparing you for the next moment that you're going to breathe. It's preparing you. It's all preparation. It's all preparation.
Right.
Look at nature. Nature teaches us so much about life, but we don't pay attention. It go through different seasons. Right now, it's pretty hot in certain parts of the United States. It's so hot. Then it's gonna come another time. It's so cold.
Right.
So it's different seasons, and the seasons don't ask permission whether you want hot today or cold tomorrow. It won't ask us permission. It just do.
Right. 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 Right.
You
Just do.
understand? It
It
don't
just
ask
do.
us permission if today we should be hot or tomorrow we should be cold. It don't ask us permission. So we need to look at ourselves and give ourselves the permission so we can evolve. Give yourself the permission that you can evolve. And as Esperanza said, we are already the diamond, we are already that gold, we are already polished, you know? So just look at yourself and understand the process that you're going through right at this present moment. It's part of your evolution, it's part of raising your level of consciousness. Pay attention to everything that is happening right now. Just pay attention. As Esperanza said, you got to put on a fresh pair of lens to look at things because sometimes you're not seeing it too clearly. So you got to put on a fresh pair of lens to see it and understand it because we are going through this for a reason. Esperanza, we want to thank you so much for
Yeah.
taking the
Thank you.
time and
Thank you.
sitting with us. This was very inspirational.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it was so refreshing to have this conversation with
Yeah.
you because it's not just an ordinary conversation. It's a conversation that went below the surface.
Yep.
You touched on a lot of things that can help individuals to understand more about themselves because we came here alone and we leave here alone. But it's what you're leaving with.
Mm. Mhm.
Are you leaving a rich legacy behind? You know? So thank you so much
Thank
for,
you.
yeah, thank you
Thank you.
for taking that time and sitting with us and enriching our audience because this was very motivational and I know people are going to experience transformation.
Oh, I love that. I love what you
I'm
said.
thankful that we get to do that is such a gift.
Yeah.
Yes,
It
it
is
is
a
a
gift.
gift. It is a
Thank
gift.
you.
It is. Thank
Heartfelt.
you once
They can
again.
connect with her lens.
And please feel free. All Esperanza handles are in the show notes. And please connect with her. She's one of a kind. Connect with her because connection helps us to grow. It helps us to evolve. It helps us to understand more about where we at this point in time in our lives. So thank you once again. And to the audience, we want to thank you so much for taking the time and sitting with us and being a part of this conversation. And please subscribe to Soul Light and Body. If you haven't done that, just touch that subscribe button so you can always be a part of this enriching podcast. Because every week we bring someone here who's going to enrich you and help you on your journey as an individual. Because we all need these enriching conversations where we can pull back and we can look at ourselves and ask ourselves the hard questions many times we are avoiding. So
Right.
thank you once again to each and every
We
one of
want to
you.
thank Dr. Susan for partnering with us.
Yeah, oh, go ahead, John.
Yeah, we would just like to at this time we want to thank Dr. Susan for partnering with us with Glow Guide because it's going to save lives. It's going to help so many people. So you have an aging parent, you have a friend who maybe have some disability or whatever it may be for them, Glow Guide will help them, because what it does, it lights up in the level of darkness when they're trying to get to their washroom or whatever is it that they're trying. If they're walking in the dark, it would light their path, and it would give them the level of confidence, the level of safety. And they don't not only do that,
Right.
their family members, if they're in another area or there's not a state, it can know where mom or dad is, because it also have the technology to do that. So check it out. We're gonna have Dr. Susan in another couple of weeks, that she will dive more deeply and explain to all of us how this this
This product
device this
device,
this
yeah.
device can help and will enable loved ones to have peace, joy, and happiness as their loved one try to continue to navigate, whether they have dementia or whatever they may be going through. So we want to
Yes.
thank Dr. Susan so much for bringing us on board and partnering with us with this device.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. Thank to each and every one of you, and have a fabulous rest of the week. Don't feel free to reach out to us. All our information is in the footnotes. Thanks once again, Esperanza, for being a part of this conversation. Love each and every one of
Yeah, we
you.
love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dr. Susan Herson had a vision in her mind, partnered up with sisters Karen and Joan, the caring kind, to bring you the glow guide, a comfort you can hold. Location sharing in soft light, a safer story told, with anti-tip design and automatic LED glow for your family and loved ones. Peace of mind can grow. Oh, glow guide.
Hi, I'm Dr. Susan Herson, owner of RemMD and the maker of Glow Guide. My father and I share a unique bond. We are both U.S. Navy veterans and physicians. My dad was very active into his late 80s, playing tennis, skiing, and working. But in his 90s, dementia caused frequent falls. Despite my more than 20 years of medical experience, at times I felt powerless to help safeguard him at night. Sure, conventional cane lights existed, but he would never have remembered to turn one on or charge one. This is what inspired Glow Guide. It is the smart accessory to transform canes, walkers, and wheelchairs. It lights up, locates, and links to family members. This is freedom to mobilize for my family and yours. Thanks.
When the path ahead is feeling rough and shadows try to steal your trust, my glow guide for safety lights their path and bring confidence.